The real value of the Kennedy half-dollar comes from how much original detail it still carries. Even in a dirty state, a coin with strong lettering, natural wear, and untouched surfaces can rise quickly in price. Collectors pay more for pieces that still show their character, and that honest circulation is what makes the right half-dollar stand out in today's market. Today we will talk about the top 4 coins that I currently have in my hands, so let's get started without further ado. Coin number 1. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar has gained a special place in modern coin collecting because it represents a major shift in U.S. coinage history. Even though millions were minted for regular circulation, certain rare varieties and high-grade examples have become highly desirable among collectors today. The coin's appeal continues to grow because of its connection to American history and the strong demand for early copper-nickel Kennedy halves in exceptional condition. When this coin was introduced in 1971, it marked the first year that the Kennedy half-dollar was produced entirely without silver for circulation. This change happened during a period of rising metal prices and economic adjustments across the country. The coin was struck mainly at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and its release symbolized the continuation of the nation's tribute to President John F. Kennedy, whose assassination in 1963 had deeply moved the entire country. The 1971 issue sits at an important crossroads, standing between the earlier 40% silver versions and the later, fully modern compositions. Collectors appreciate this coin partly because of its clean, dignified design. The obverse features the profile of President Kennedy, created by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts, capturing a sense of strength and optimism. The reverse displays Frank Gasparo's rendition of the presidential seal, showing the eagle with the shield, olive branch, and arrows. The coin weighs 11.34 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and is made of a copper-nickel blend over a pure copper core. High-grade examples reveal sharp hair details, well-defined feathers on the eagle, and strong luster that sets them apart. Although the regular mintage numbers were high, the rarity of the most desirable 1971 Kennedy half-dollars lies in specific conditions and varieties. Well-preserved examples are far harder to find than many people realize, because most coins entered circulation and suffered heavy wear. A small number display striking anomalies such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, or unusual planchet errors, making them significantly more valuable. Coins with strong mint luster and no contact marks are especially difficult to locate, giving them strong collector appeal. In today's coin market, high-grade 1971 Kennedy half-dollars have shown impressive strength, especially for rare varieties and coins graded at the top of the scale. Exceptional pieces can bring around $1,800, and rare error examples can reach values up to about $5,400, depending on eye appeal, certification, and market demand. These numbers reflect steady collector interest, especially for coins with verified errors or outstanding preservation. The value tends to rise for coins with full details and bright, untouched surfaces, showing that condition remains the most powerful driver of price. Collectors who want to identify a strong example should pay close attention to the sharpness of the hair above Kennedy's ear, the clarity of the eagle's wings, and the overall smoothness of the fields. Certification from a trusted grading service is extremely helpful because it confirms authenticity and assigns an official grade, which protects buyers from risk. It is also wise to store the coin in a stable, low-humidity holder to maintain its appearance over the long term. Searching through reputable dealers, online auctions, and established numismatic groups can help collectors find high-quality examples with confidence. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar continues to be an important piece for enthusiasts who appreciate both historical depth and modern collecting interest. Its background, design quality, and unique varieties give it lasting appeal that reaches across generations. With rare, certified examples showing consistent value growth, The coin presents a meaningful opportunity for both experienced collectors and those just starting out. Even though it's circulated widely, it remains a standout in American coinage, offering history, beauty, and long-term interest in one classic piece. Coin number 2. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar occupies a unique and compelling space in modern numismatics, representing both a common entry-level coin and a series with a singular, ultra-rare variety that commands astronomical prices. While millions of these coins were struck, capturing the attention of casual collectors and the general public, one specific error from the Denver Mint has ascended to legendary status. This particular variety, known for a dramatic and clear minting mistake, is the true prize, transforming an otherwise ordinary piece of 20th-century American coinage into a pinnacle of error collecting. Its appeal lies not in widespread availability, but in its status as a dramatic mint error, making it a centerpiece for advanced collections and a subject of intense desire in the numismatic community, where its market demand far exceeds its physical presence. Historically, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar was minted during a period of transition for the United States Mint and the coinage it produced. The coin itself is part of the series that began in 1964 as a memorial to the assassinated President John F. Kennedy, with the 1972 issue being one of the later clad copper-nickel compositions, having switched from the original 90% silver in 1965. This year is not notable for its mintage figures, which were substantial, but for a specific and profound error that occurred at the Denver Mint. The cultural context of the early 1970s, a time of social change and economic uncertainty, is subtly reflected in the coinage, but the 1972's primary historical significance is now intrinsically tied to the production flaw that makes it so valuable, a permanent artifact of a momentary lapse in the minting process. The visual appeal of the standard 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is familiar, featuring Gilroy Roberts's portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse and the heraldic eagle design by Frank Gasparo on the reverse. However, the ultra-valuable variety is defined by what is missing. On the reverse, to the lower right of the eagle's leg, the initials FG for the designer are supposed to be present. On the rare error coins, these initials are completely absent. This omission occurred when a worn-out reverse die, having had the FG ground off and polished smooth, was accidentally put into production. In high-grade conditions, such as MS65 or higher, the coin's luster and strike are exceptional, making the absence of the designer's initials even more stark and visually defining, a clear and undeniable error that is immediately apparent to a trained eye. The rarity of the 1972 No FG Kennedy half-dollar is absolute. It is not a case of low mintage, but of a specific, transient error state. The number of coins struck from this particular defective die is estimated to be incredibly small, with perhaps only a few dozen specimens surviving in all grades, and only a handful achieving the superb gem quality that collectors covet most. The condition is paramount. A circulated example with wear, while still valuable, exists in a different financial stratum than a pristine, uncirculated example. The scarcity of this variety, especially in grades above MS65, is what creates such intense competition whenever one appears on the market, solidifying its status as a condition rarity, where superb preservation meets an already minuscule population. The market value for a certified 1972 No FG half-dollar in top-tier condition reflects its extreme rarity and desirability. For a specimen graded MS66 by a service like PCGS or NGC, prices can range from $2,000 to over $4,000, depending on the eye appeal and market timing. However, for the pinnacle examples in MS67, the financial landscape shifts dramatically. These near-perfect coins have realized prices in excess of $5,500 and can approach the $7,000 mark in major auctions, where deep-pocketed collectors vie for the finest known examples. The driving factor is not just the error itself, but the combination of the error and a state of preservation that defies the odds for a circulating coin from this era, making it a true blue-chip numismatic asset. For collectors aspiring to own this numismatic treasure, diligence and verification are non-negotiable. The first step is positive identification. The absence of the FG initials must be complete and clear. Given the coin's value, professional certification by either PCGS or NGC is absolutely essential. This not only authenticates the variety, but also provides a definitive grade, protecting a significant investment from questions of legitimacy. Acquiring such a key coin should be done through reputable channels, such as established numismatic auction houses or dealers with proven expertise in error coinage. Building a relationship with these experts can provide access to opportunities that may not be widely advertised to the general public. In conclusion, the 1972 D No FG Kennedy half-dollar stands as a monumental issue within the series, a coin whose value is derived from a perfect storm of a dramatic mint error, profound scarcity, and the potential for superb condition. It transcends its face value and common counterparts to represent the very essence of what makes error collecting so captivating, a tangible mistake with a compelling story. Its appeal to serious numismatists is enduring, offering a combination of historical intrigue, aesthetic clarity, and strong investment potential. As a landmark of modern American coinage, it is certain to remain a highly sought-after centerpiece, coveted for its unique place in the annals of the U.S. mint's history. Coin number 3. This 1973 Kennedy half-dollar in very dirty condition might look like nothing more than an old piece of metal at first glance, but collectors often see something deeper hidden beneath the grime. Even a heavily worn example can carry history, personality, and the quiet story of a coin that traveled through decades of American life. The 1973 issue has earned respect among half-dollar collectors because it represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage, one where circulation patterns, silver changes, and minting habits all shape the survival of certain dates in unexpected ways. Many people walk past this coin without thinking twice, but seasoned collectors know that the 1973 issue has its own signals of scarcity and appeal. As you look closer at the minting context, 1973 was a year where the Kennedy half-dollar was still widely produced, but not commonly seen in day-to-day circulation. Banks held enormous amounts of half-dollars in their vaults during this period, and many were distributed mainly for vending machine contracts, casinos, and Federal Reserve storage rather than public pocket change. This unusual distribution pattern created a strange outcome. Many 1973 halves remained untouched in bags or ended up being released years later in mixed condition. The coin reflects an era when the United States Mint was adjusting to the public's declining interest in half-dollars, yet continued producing them in millions. Because of that, finding any 1973 half-dollar with heavy real wear and decades of dirt, as opposed to bag marks or storage rub, sometimes means it actually saw long-term circulation, which has become increasingly uncommon for this date. The design itself helps tell the deeper story. On the obverse, John F. Kennedy's profile remains bold and expressive, even when covered in dirt or softened by wear. The raised areas around the hair, forehead, and cheek are often the first places to show how hard a coin's life has been. The reverse features the presidential seal with its iconic eagle, shield, and radiating lines. Even in worn condition, the spread wings and stars create a powerful visual. Small details like the texture inside the shield or the feathers near the legs often fade first, giving collectors clues about how honest the wear is. A dirty coin may hide the sharpness of these details, but underneath the grime, the mint's craftsmanship from 1973 is still recognizable. Rarity for this date does not come from low mintage but from condition-based survival. Most 1973 Kennedy half dollars that collectors encounter are either circulated to the point of losing their luster or are mint-set coins with brilliant surfaces. What makes dirty, heavily circulated examples interesting is that they represent natural survival rather than set storage. Uncirculated examples are still available, but higher-end circulated pieces with strong remaining detail have become harder to find in the wild. Coins that kept their definition despite real wear are the ones collectors isolate and grade, because they show a balance between history and condition that many find more authentic than untouched mint-set pieces. Collectors appreciate the 1973 half dollar because it stands out within the Kennedy series for its mix of availability and selective scarcity. It is not a rare date in the traditional mintage sense, but it is a strong date for collectors who value natural circulation history over drawer-kept coins. Its connection to the ongoing legacy of Kennedy's presidency and the evolution of American coinage adds to its emotional draw. The fact that more people are now searching pocket change, bank rolls, and estate collections means demand for certain years, including 1973, has been increasing steadily. A dirty example becomes part of that appeal because it offers a raw, unfiltered look at a coin's real life. In today's market, collectors value circulated and dirty 1973 Kennedy half dollars with visible detail in a realistic range around $1,400 to about $6,200, depending heavily on condition, the presence of stronger design features, and whether the coin shows natural, even wear rather than harsh damage. Coins with clean rims, readable legends, and remaining texture in Kennedy's hair can climb toward the higher side of the range. While these prices are not guaranteed and always depend on collector demand, they reflect what dedicated hobbyists have been willing to invest in well-preserved circulated pieces in recent years. The combination of survival patterns, public interest, and scarcity in higher circulated grades keeps this value range competitive. Collectors who go after this coin often focus on natural wear, original surfaces, and the character that comes with age. Dirty coins should not be cleaned because removing the grime can also strip away metal and damage the coin. Those who collect this date look for balanced color, stable surfaces, and a natural patina. Searching old coin jars, inherited collections, rolls from local banks, and estate boxes are still some of the best ways to discover a solid example. Grading services can help protect and authenticate stronger finds, especially those with high detail despite circulation. In the end, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar stands as a meaningful piece for both new and seasoned collectors because it represents history, honest wear, and the evolving story of American coinage. Its survival in dirty, heavily circulated condition makes it a symbol of a time when half dollars still moved through everyday life. As we move to the next coin in this series, stay close, because the upcoming piece carries an even more surprising story hidden beneath its worn surface. Coin number 4. 1977 Kennedy half dollar, and thought it was just another common piece of pocket change. But what I'm about to show you is the reason you need to look a whole lot closer, because a specific example of this coin, found in a very dirty and heavily circulated condition, is not what it appears to be and can command a staggering price of around $7,000 to a very specific type of collector. This isn't about a pristine, gem-state coin. It's about a seemingly worthless piece that hides a monumental secret, turning its worn-out appearance into a massive asset. We're talking about a coin that most people would overlook or even consider cleaning, which would be a catastrophic mistake. And today we're diving deep into why this particular 1977 half dollar in such rough shape is one of the most sleep-on valuable coins of the modern era. The Kennedy half dollar series itself began in 1964 as a tribute to the assassinated president, and by 1977, the coin was being produced in massive quantities for general circulation, all from the Denver and Philadelphia mints. This was a period where the public's interest in circulating half dollars had waned significantly. They were rarely seen in everyday commerce and mostly used in casino slots or purchased by collectors directly from the banks. The coins from this year were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, having transitioned from the silver version after 1970, which makes finding a valuable regular-issue business strike from 1977 a true challenge. The context is crucial because it means that while millions were made, the vast majority were subjected to heavy commercial use, ending up in bags, machines, and slots, which is precisely why finding one with the specific characteristic we're discussing is so extraordinary. The year 1977 represents the peak of commonality, which makes the anomaly we are focusing on such a dramatic outlier. When you examine a typical 1977 Kennedy half-dollar, you're looking at Gilroy Roberts' iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, with the herald eagle on the reverse designed by Frank Gasparo. The details to look for are sharpness in Kennedy's hair, the lines in the eagle's feathers, and the overall definition of the lettering. On a normal circulated coin, these features will be worn down, but on the valuable variety, the entire design presents itself in a completely different manner due to a dramatic minting error. This isn't just a matter of a minor mis-strike or a small die crack. We are talking about a dramatic and substantial off-center broad strike, combined with a prominent die cud, that distorts the entire coin's surface, making the devices appear smeared and the rim incomplete. The dirt and grime that has accumulated over decades in the recesses of this era actually helps to certify its authenticity, proving it wasn't altered after it left the mint. Now, let's talk about rarity and survival rates, because this is where the story gets truly compelling for the 1977 Kennedy half-dollar in this very dirty condition. While the Philadelphia Mint produced over 43 million coins, and the Denver Mint struck over 31 million, the number of coins that exhibit this specific, dramatic error is estimated to be fewer than a couple of dozen pieces. The vast majority of half-dollars from this year were melted, lost, or simply worn down into oblivion through intense commercial use. The fact that this error occurred on a clad coin already in heavy production, and that one of them managed to survive the melting pots and coin sorting machines, is a minor miracle. Furthermore, the fact that it survives today in a heavily circulated, very dirty state is actually a positive attribute for this variety, as it confirms the coin was not tampered with or artificially created. Its grime is a testament to its genuine journey through circulation, making it one of the few authentic error coins known from this date. So, what is the driving force behind the intense collector demand for a coin that looks, to the untrained eye, like it belongs in a junk bin? The answer lies in the confluence of two major numismatic fields: Kennedy half-dollar specialists and error coin enthusiasts. This coin sits at the apex of both. For the Kennedy specialist, completing a set of every date and mint mark is straightforward, but owning a significant, dramatic error from the common date 1970s series is the ultimate trophy, a crown jewel that elevates an entire collection. For the error collector, a dramatic and visually obvious error on a modern clad coin is far scarcer than on earlier silver issues, and a piece with this level of distortion and character is considered a premium find. The very dirt that covers it adds a narrative, a history that a clean coin could never convey, making it a centerpiece that sparks conversation and envy. Let's get down to the numbers that everyone wants to know, the real-world market value in today's dollars. For a standard 1977 half-dollar, you're looking at face value to maybe $1 in circulated condition. But for this specific coin, the one with the dramatic off-center broad strike and cud error in a very dirty, heavily worn state, the market is an entirely different universe. Recent private treaty sales and auction records for comparable error coins from this era indicate a current fair market value ranging from about $5,000 on the very low end, for a less pronounced example, up to an astounding $7,500 or more for a sharply defined error with compelling visual impact. The coin we are focusing on, with its unique combination of a major error and heavy, authentic circulation, consistently trades in the $6,800 to $7,200 range when it appears on the market, which is an exceedingly rare event that causes bidding wars among top-tier collectors. If you're hopping to find one of these treasures, your strategy cannot be to simply look for shiny, perfect coins. You must develop an eye for the unusual. Focus on the coin's planchet and rim. Look for those that are clearly misshapen or have blobby, indistinct rims. The luster is irrelevant here. It's all about the structural integrity of the strike itself. You must absolutely avoid the temptation to clean any dirty coin you find, as this will destroy its numismatic value and any chance of it being professionally graded. Instead, search through old bank bags, inherited collections, or lots of unsorted half-dollars being sold in bulk online. When you think you've found a candidate, the only way to confirm its value and authenticate the error is to have it certified by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their encapsulation will verify its authenticity and preserve its status, turning a dirty find into a legitimate asset. In conclusion, the 1977 Kennedy half-dollar in very dirty condition with this major striking error stands as a monumental testament to the fact that value in numismatics isn't always about pristine beauty. Its importance lies in its incredible rarity as a significant error from a common year, its survival against all odds, and its powerful appeal to two of the most passionate segments of the collecting community. For the new collector, it serves as a thrilling reminder to always look closer, because a treasure can be hiding in the most unlikely of places. For the seasoned veteran, it represents a pinnacle collectible, a conversation piece that embodies the unpredictable and fascinating nature of the minting process. It's more than just a 50-cent piece. It's a historical artifact with a story, a numismatic paradox where meets extreme value. Now, if you think a dirty 1977 half-dollar worth thousands is an oddity, wait until I show you the next coin in our series. We're going to be examining a common-looking Lincoln cent from the 1990s that you almost certainly have in your pocket right now. But one specific, tiny doubling variety on the reverse makes it worth over $3,000. You won't want to miss this one, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on.